Welcome to Live Light, where we shine a light on everything that makes life exciting and sometimes on those things that make you scratch your head, like your family. Be honest. Have you ever sat at a family gathering and thought, how on earth am I related to these people? Maybe you've wondered if you were adopted or accidentally swapped at birth. Your sister, she's hyper organized. If you leave her throw pillow at a slight angle, she'll wait until you're not looking and quietly rotate it back to the perfect 90 degrees. Even her spices are in alphabetical order. Heaven help you if you put the paprika before the pepper. Your brother, he's the life of the party, talking with passion to 3 generations at once. The grandma who's already told her story 3 times, the toddler who can't even talk properly yet, and that loud aunt with her big hair and even bigger opinions. Everybody's hanging on his every word. And you in the middle. Plate of food on your lap, deliberately sitting between the family members who eye each other suspiciously, always ready with a joke to diffuse the tension before someone launches a salad bowl. Now, here's my theory. It's not random. It's birth order. Yes, really. The position you were born into your family affects you more than you might think. You may have thought of yourself as just the second child or the baby of the family, but actually, you're a character in a very specific family drama written long before you ever knew about drama or what drama was. Years ago, I came across the work of Dr. Kevin Leman, a psychologist who's an expert on this topic, and I was hooked. Suddenly, so many things made sense. Why I never arrive empty-handed at a friend's house. Why I always put the nail clippers back in the exact same drawer. Why I have to do things just the right way. And why good manners matter so deeply to me. And why I can't give a talk unless I know my notes off by heart. Well, now I've given quite a bit away about myself. In this series, we'll talk about the 4 major birth orders. The firstborn, middle, the child, the baby of the family, and the only child. But before you immediately decide where you fit, let's do a quick quiz. Which of these sounds most like you? No need to match every word, just pick the one that feels the most like you. A. Perfectionist, dependable. Conscientious, list maker, well organized, driven, natural leader, critical, serious, studious, logical, hates surprises, sees the world in black and white, and believes this is how things should be done, period. Or B, the mediator, always compromising, diplomatic, conflict avoider, independent, loyal to friends, has lots of friends, mysterious, doesn't always follow the norm, and used to not being the center of attention. Or C, the people person. C, the people person, a bit manipulative, yet charming, blames others, attention seeker, resilient, natural salesperson, affectionate, loves surprises, the one who always makes people laugh and somehow wiggles out of trouble, and might still be registered under a childhood nickname at the pharmacy. Or D, a little adult by age 7. Thorough, motivated, self-motivated, high achiever, cautious, loves reading, sees things in extremes, can't stand to fail, has very high expectations for themselves, feels more comfortable with older or younger people, and doesn't understand why kids argue with their siblings all the time. If you picked A, welcome to the firstborn club. If you chose B, you're probably the middle child, and we have to say we see you and we appreciate you. If you chose C, you're likely the baby of the family, the reason we laugh or lose our minds. If you chose D, you are probably an only child. But remember, birth order gives clues. It's not a box. You're unique. This isn't some personality horoscope that predicts your future. It's a helpful tool for understanding yourself and those fascinating family members a little better. So, grab a coffee, kick off your shoes, and let's hang out. We're going to explore each birth order position, and you might just find yourself thinking, wow, it's not just me who feels this way. And hopefully you'll come away with insight and a good chuckle that helps you look at your sister, your brother, and yourself with a little more grace. And hey, I hope you'll have quite a few aha moments along the way. But before we dive into each role in detail, we need to talk about exceptions because, let's be honest, families aren't always neat and predictable. Things like gender, age, gaps, adoption, special circumstances, they all come into play. And then there's the wild world of pets, step siblings, and all the extras. Let's start with the first exception, age gaps. When there's a gap of 5 or 6 years between siblings, something interesting happens. The next child often grows up as if they're the firstborn of a new family. It's like parenting season 2. Same parents, new energy, different rules. If the gap is like 7 to 10 years, that child may function more like an only child. What Dr. Lehman calls a quasi-only. Surrounded by older siblings, yes, but growing up in their own little world. And don't underestimate them. They often work extra hard just to keep up with the big kids. The second exception is gender. Gender order makes a difference too. If you're the first girl and then comes a boy, guess what? He might take on firstborn traits as the first son, bringing with him a whole new set of expectations and privileges. Or maybe the family has 3 boys and then comes the baby girl. She's the princess. Sweet, yes. But watch out for the poor brother who got bumped from his baby throne just before she arrived. That dethroned middle kid might feel a little bit lost, so watch out for him. The third expectation is physical traits. Birth order isn't just about order, it's about who you are. If the older brother, the firstborn, is smaller or quieter than the younger one, the second one, roles can switch. The younger sibling might start acting like the leader. Or let's say one sister is classically beautiful and the other one is average. It's tough, but it happens, and it can deeply affect self-esteem. The less visible one might pour herself into school or sports to stand out in her own way. Then, of course, when a child has a disability like autism or cerebral palsy, the dynamic shifts entirely in that family. Sometimes the younger child becomes the older one in terms of responsibility and independence. The fourth exception is twins. Twins and tragedy. Twins often have a deep bond, but also intense rivalry. And don't think a few seconds don't count. Many twins will definitely tell you who was born first. But things may take a serious turn when a sibling passes away. If the firstborn dies at a young age, the next child often steps into that role with all its weight, even if it wasn't theirs to begin with. Think about John F. Kennedy. His older brother Joseph was supposed to carry the family's dreams, but when Joseph died in World War II, 19-year-old John was suddenly the eldest son. That pressure never really left him, not even as president. And then the fifth exception, adoption and the dethroned firstborn. Well, adoption can reshape a family structure. If you adopt an older child after having a biological one, the firstborn status shifts, and that can shake a child's identity. Experts suggest if you already have a 3-year-old, don't adopt a 5-year-old. It might seem harmless, but the emotional impact on the original firstborn can be huge. Well, now that we've looked at exceptions among the kids, let's climb a step higher and ask, what does parenting have to do with birth order? Well, your own birth order as a parent matters. It's like holding a mirror. You might see yourself in your child, and suddenly you're parenting a mini you because you understand them and you identify with them. But here's the catch. You might also put too much pressure on them without realizing it, or favor them just a little. If you were a middle child, you might naturally sympathize with the child who's stuck in the middle, always being squashed. And the baby of the family? Let's be honest. Even at 22 and driving a Hilux pickup, they're still the baby. What about critical parents, or what I call the evil eye? If both parents are firstborns, oh my goodness. Perfection might be the unspoken household rule. You want your child to be the best, the neatest, the most polite, even if all they want to do is kick off their shoes and color during church. The oldest child usually gets all that pressure. Parents are figuring things out for the first time. All the experiments and energy go into child number 1. Child number 2 gets the chilled out version of mom and dad. And child number 3, she or he is drinking soda before breakfast and getting away with it. Number 3, your values as a parent matters. What did your parents teach you? Work first, then play? No dating until you've graduated? those messages shape us and we pass them on. So ask yourself, are you parenting how you were raised, or are you trying to fix what went wrong? Your values might shape your child more than their birth order ever could. And finally, blended families. Things get quite wild here. Add a bonus child and you've got a brand new dynamic. Most of our personalities are shaped and cemented by age 5 or 6. Birth order is like a seat at the table, and once it's yours, it sticks. So little Timmy, who's always been the baby, doesn't magically become the eldest just because new younger step siblings arrive. He's still going to act like the baby because that's his groove. One of Dr. Lehman's best tips for blended families is hold family meetings. Seriously, sit down, talk it out with honesty and humor. It's a game changer. Otherwise, you're on the express train to family Armageddon. So what did we learn today? Birth order isn't a cookie cutter process. It's not you're the oldest, you must always be responsible, or you're the youngest, so you are spoiled. No. People are complex and families are unique and life throws curveballs. Birth order gives us clues. Use it as a tool and not as a rule. It helps us to understand people, build empathy, and laugh at ourselves a little more. Next time, we'll take a look at each birth order position for even more insight. Because yes, your co-worker with the color-coded pens, you guessed it, oldest child. Until then, live lightly, laugh freely, and remember, you may not have chosen your place in the family, but you can choose how you live.